Hey everybody, good morning. Welcome to the Digital Weather Desk powered by CenturyNext Bank. I'm Jared Floyd. Happy Wednesday, the last day of the year. Last Wednesday of the year, last day of the year, any way you want to slice it. It's the end of 2025 as we know it, and just as we get the stream started this morning, I've got something in my contact. I've got a light there and a light there, and I'm looking at you right here, but this eye right here, there's something in there, and that's not good. So we're just going to try to blink it out. Make it work. Check of I-20 as we start the morning off this morning. Everything seems to be moving smoothly. It is chilly. A lot of areas dropping back below freezing. Let me pull up some Mesonet numbers so we can talk about those in just a second. This morning's forecast made possible by Flying Tiger Brewery and Pizza Bar. They are open for New Year's Eve today. No reservations, full menu, but they will also be closing early. A smidge early. For New Year's Eve tonight. They'll be closed tomorrow. Back open on Friday with happy hour and all kinds of stuff. Go see James and the gang. And again, I recommend the General Claire. It is delicious. Again, a look at the I-20 area this morning. Everything moving smoothly. Let's get the clicker going. All right. Temperatures across the area well below freezing in many spots to start the day. And again, we expected a lot of locations to drop below freezing, but portions of southern Arkansas where I was a little skeptical. I was expecting the southwesterly winds to really hold in. El Dorado, Camden, some of those spots. I really just kind of wondered how cold can you really get tonight or overnight into the morning hours, and that's exactly, they proved me wrong. Let's just put it that way. 29 in El Dorado currently. Monroe's at 32, right at the freezing mark. Did drop below freezing overnight. I'm pivoting myself from the camera over here because I'm going to look at some of these Mesonet numbers. The Louisiana Mesonet's operated by the University of Louisiana Monroe. ULM at 29.7 as a minimum temperature this morning. Eris at 28.8. Colfax at 25.7. A lot of 26s, 27s, and 28s. Acme was at 26.4. Jonesville at 27.8. Sicily Island at 28.8. So a lot of these areas, even in the southern parishes, dropping well below freezing this morning. Natchez is at 25. So it's a cold start. Temperatures should rebound nicely. Winds are already back out of the southwest. They're fairly light, but they're out of the southwest in the 3 to 5 mile an hour range. Most of our winds generally stayed calm through the overnight, and that's why temperatures fell off so quickly. Ethel, good morning to you. Happy New Year if I don't talk to you. If I don't talk to you until next year, nah. The dad jokes are so easy today. They are so incredibly easy today. Just, hey, I'll see you next year. And then tomorrow, same thing. I hadn't seen you since last year. Man, those are the good ones. Futurecast made possible by Bayou Power Sports. I-20 Frontage Road in Monroe. Winds back out of the southwest. Could be a skosh breezy today. Maybe up to about 10 miles an hour. And I would expect them to be a little bit more breezy as we go through the day tomorrow. Again, southwest generally, 10 to maybe 15 miles an hour at their strongest points. And setting the stage for the cloud cover to increase through the daytime hours on New Year's Day as well. Especially as the winds return to the south a little bit later in the day. And that sets the stage for very, very small rain chances on Friday. Check of the infrared satellite, and kudos to the computer models. I've been talking so much smack about them lately, about how bad they've been for the last couple of weeks and months. They have done an absolutely stellar job with the high deck of clouds that thinned out as it moved through our area. They forecasted that perfectly through the overnight. Does it matter that much? It was just one of those really nuanced things that I saw this morning when I was looking at the infrared. I was like, hey, the model said that was going to happen, and it happened. So good for them. Everybody needs a win every now and then, you know what I mean? The time-lapse radar is always made possible by Brown's Roofing. Schedule your free roof inspection at brownsroofingla.com. Nothing doing on the radar screen in our area. The lake effect snow machine's been up and cranking across much of the Great Lakes. They've seen plenty of activity over the last several days. But much of the central United States stays dry. Futurecast again shows winds back out of the southwest. They're fairly light for the time being, but that is at least transporting some warmer air back into the region. As high pressure will eventually start to move east, winds will become more steady out of the southwest and south. By midnight tonight, clear skies. Should be a beautiful night to ring in the new year across the region. A weak boundary approaches the area through the day on New Year's Day, doesn't really move through. Cloud cover increases as the winds really crank back up out of the south as we go through the daytime hours. That was a horrible looking arrow. You guys wait until we actually have something worth telestrating, and I will. I'll be out there. I've got a secondary screen that I can telestrate things on. Man, I'm gonna be like John Madden. It's going to be great. Well, it's not going to be great because that means the weather's going to be bad, but I'll be able to explain a lot of stuff. My wife and my daughter are watching from the other room on YouTube. It's so cold. Yes. Lana says, beautiful frost in Wyatt. And everybody's thank you for the kind words about the little one. She helped me with the fish and game forecast last night. She loves coming in here. And one day I got to show you the whole setup here with all the different computers and the screens and everything that's going on here. Because you'll understand why she gets really like overstimulated and loves to look at all the different screens and lights and everything. It's pretty cool. Janet, good morning to you as well. All right, winds back out of the south. Happy New Year to you, Janet. Winds are back out of the south as we go into the day on Friday. Area of low pressure starts to deepen somewhat as it moves through the region. Could stir up an isolated shower across the area Friday into Friday night. We'll eventually swing a cold front through early Saturday morning or late Friday night, however you want to slice it. Northerly winds are back in with a slightly cooler air mass. Clouds could linger a little bit for Saturday, but overall the weekend looks mild and relatively quiet. I think we're going to get the last of the rain chances out of here late Friday night into Saturday. Futurecast temperatures show us back into the low 60s today. Upper 60s for a lot of locations tomorrow for New Year's Day. We continue that warming trend despite the cloud cover back into the 70s on Friday. Then the cold front moves through Friday night, and it's not a drastic cool down, but we fall back into the 60s for highs Saturday, and I would expect something similar on Sunday. We could be approaching the 70-degree mark again by the early parts of next week. And good morning, Miss Norris. Hopefully you're enjoying New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. All right, upper level winds. Shown this the last couple of days because, again, I keep drawing attention to the fact that there's a lot of social media fodder about what will be happening with the storm system as we go into late next week and the next weekend. Not this upcoming weekend, but the next weekend. Again, not a whole lot happening in our area if you're talking about something that is happening over a week and a half from now. But that's where we are. And like I said, social media fodder, a lot of folks will get really overly excited about stuff. And so, again, when you look at some of these longer range projections, it's kind of like handling fireworks. This is what I said yesterday. You kind of want somebody that knows what they're doing, supervising the whole process, because a lot of things can get out of hand quickly. That's my analogy. Good morning, Beverly. So this is where we are right now, embedded in a northwesterly pattern. Ridge of high pressure moves in temporarily over the next 24 hours or so, and then we get our first weak disturbance. This little weak disturbance right here, this little ripple that moves through during the daytime hours Thursday, Friday, that's the weak boundary, that weak cold front that never passes through the area. Then we get the deepening area of low pressure at the surface and the deepening upper level disturbance. It really just kind of maxes out right over the Mississippi Valley, so we don't really get the best rain chances. As this upper trough starts to get a little bit deeper and a little bit better defined and better developed, it moves out of our area. So it's going to take most of the rain chances from the Mississippi Valley eastward. So we kind of get missed. Lucas is watching from are we watching from Iowa, like as in the state of Iowa, or are you watching from Iowa, Louisiana? Just asking for clarification. Either way, good morning and welcome. And we're glad you're here. That upper disturbance, like I said, kind of misses us. And the area of low pressure deepens over our area, but really it brings most of the rain chances east. Upper ridge of high pressure back in for the early to middle parts of next week. And so that's going to keep us relatively warm, relatively dry. Again, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday looks pretty quiet. Second half of next week is when a lot of the computer models start kind of churning something. something. What do we know? We don't know. It's kind of like you see a dog down the street and you don't have your contacts in, so you can't tell if that's like if it's a poodle or a chihuahua or if it's like a wolf. And you don't know if that dog's going to come towards you or if it's going to turn down another side street. You don't really know how big it is. You don't really know how strong it is. You just know that it's a dog. Another horrible analogy, but I was trying to come up with one this morning. We know that eventually the pattern is going to change, and it looks like there is a pretty pronounced change in the works as we go into next week. Late next week and into the weekend. So Wednesday, we see the pattern start to kind of flatten out a little bit, and it allows for this lead disturbance to move through late next week sometime. Some computer models have it Thursday, Friday. Some of them have it Saturday, Sunday. Again, we just don't know. And we don't know the depth, and we don't know the strength of this thing, but we know that something is going to move probably into the central United States, and it looks like it's going to be kind of one of those little 1-2 punches. Like there's going to be a lead disturbance that could bring active weather to the central United States. I think that's the fairest assumption. This is what I'm talking about right here. This is lead disturbance. This is we call shortwave trough. In the upper levels of the atmosphere, we have short waves. In the mid and upper levels of the atmosphere, we have shortwave troughs, long wave troughs. Mid levels. This is an upper level map. In the mid levels, you'd see it a little bit better, but the long wave troughs are the larger, more wholesale pattern changes, and then short waves are the smaller, more compact disturbances. They both can be very impactful across the region. Cindy is watching in Lawton, Michigan. Good morning. Probably pretty cold up there. Becky, good morning. Christian, good morning. Leanne, good morning to you as well. So that's the punch one, if you will. Punch two would be this larger, long wave trough of low pressure that would swing through the central and southern United States at some point, either next weekend or early next week. What does this all mean to us? We don't know. We just don't know. Good morning, PV, to you as well. But we do know that it looks like the pattern starts to flip a little bit. Could bring us more active weather. It will likely bring us some types of rain chances. It will probably bring some type of thunderstorm chances. Will it bring severe weather? We don't know. Will this pan out in any form? Again, the computer models have been really sketchy for the last couple of weeks and months. So is this legit? We're not in a time frame yet where we can go, yep, all right, something like this is going to happen. We just got to figure out the details now. We think it is. The confidence continues to increase that we're probably going to be headed towards something in that time frame, but we still don't know for sure. We get through this week and into the weekend, early next week, that's when you're going to start seeing us say with a little bit more certainty, all right, we're going to have two disturbances, one around this time, one around this time. Now, we're still looking at the trends. Start getting into more specifics early next weekish. Good morning, Ann. Thanks so much for joining in. High temperatures today in the low 60s. Lots of sunshine. Winds back out of the southwest through the day. Your New Year's Eve, clear and chilly. You may need a jacket, but clear skies. Maybe a few clouds sneak in overnight. As we look for temperatures to generally hover in the low to mid 40s. It's New Year's Eve. A lot of folks will be out late. I picked these time windows specifically for a reason. Make sure that you celebrate responsibly tonight. No drinking and driving. We don't want any unnecessary hazards. Nobody wants to have to, deal with irresponsibility. So please be safe out there tonight. And enjoy it. It should be a beautiful night. And then the overnight lows will fall to near 40. A few clouds start to sneak in overnight. Again, cold, but not as cold as it's been. Again, a lot of us were well below freezing to start the day. Look at the 7-day forecast made possible by 3B Hardware. As we set the stage for 2026, which still sounds so weird to say, daytime highs are back in the mid-70s on Friday. 60s for the weekend. Again, a little bit cooler behind that Friday front. Rain chances are still very limited over the next 7 days. Out of all that stuff that we talked about and all the storm systems and all the potential down the road in the next 10 to 14 days and blah, 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 the next 7 days are still very quiet. So let's just kind of focus on that because that's the more certain part of the forecast. Anything beyond that, we'll cross those bridges when we get there. And that is a look at the forecast on this New Year's Eve 2025. I will join you a little later than normal, joining some friends for lunch this morning, or late this morning. So that's where I'll be right around midday, so I'll join you a little bit after that with the midday stream. Too Long Didn't Read comes out at 9:30. Fish and game forecast tonight. We will have one more urine review tonight. We'll look at the coldest temperatures of 2025 in Monroe, El Dorado, and Greenville. Still have to dig all that information up, and I'll have that for you a little bit later today. Reminder, the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank, is a digital weather platform serving 33 parishes and counties across northern Louisiana, southern Arkansas, and western Mississippi. It is made possible 100% free to you and brought to you 100% free by the local businesses that you see there on your screen. You're doing your part by joining us on this New Year's Eve, following us on your favorite social media platforms. Share the content that you think needs to be shared, and then support our local business partners when you can, if you can. And we appreciate all of them for their support in the first 4 months, September, October, November, December. Yeah, 120 days in of the Digital Weather Desk, powered by Century Next Bank. I'll join you later today. Again, be responsible out there today, especially later tonight. Enjoy the last day of the new year, and I'll check in with you in a couple of hours.